So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to find out more about our Senior Leader Executive Apprenticeship course that we're running with Montfort University. So I'm just going to give a very quick introduction and I'll be handing over to the main person who you all want to listen to today. That will be Danny. So today we'll just be, so I'll just say hello. So in case you don't know me, I'm the Senior Project Leader for the Research and Innovation Operations team at TWI, which is part of so the NSIRC, so those who manage these courses that we run. So I work alongside Hannah Stedman in the team there. You may have already spoken to Hannah about this course. She is off at the moment, but she'll be ready and back soon to answer any questions that you may have about the course. Here with me today, we have Danny Buckley, who is the Deputy Director for Apprenticeships and is the Programme Leader for this Senior Leader Apprenticeship. So we'll hear from Danny first, just go through everything about the course itself, and we'll hopefully answer any questions that you may have. And then we'll be hearing from someone who has actually taken part in the course already. So Matthew Haslett, who's the team leader for environmental testing at TWI. Matthew will just tell us a little bit about his experience and again, answer any questions you may have about wanting to hear from someone who has actually taken part in the course itself. So just very short and sharp from me, and then we'll have time for questions at the end. So I will hand over to Danny, who will actually give you all the important information that you want to hear today.
I don't know about important information, right? I'll try and share my screen. That's the first problem. I think it's going to work. And then we'll move through the presentation. Is that shared okay?
All good. Thanks, Danny.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'm really excited to speak with you guys today. I think there's 19 or 20 of you so far in the session, with more coming. I'm here to talk to you today about our Senior Leader Executive Apprenticeship. As Chloe just said, my name's Danny Buckley. I'm the Programme Leader for the Senior Leader Apprenticeships and Deputy Director for the Faculty on Apprenticeships. We also have one of our amazing business development managers, Kate Watson, in attendance, who will also be able to answer any questions at the end and help me out if I need during the presentation. So the Senior Leader Apprenticeship, we're going to focus on answering 4 key questions here. We're going to answer what is it, who's it for, when will we be delivering it, and then there's a few bullet points on that I'll talk around about why you might consider attending it. So we'll start with what is an apprenticeship. It's a job with training, as you can see on the slide. The phrase we often use is learn while you earn. It's funded by the apprenticeship levy, so it's at no financial cost to yourself, apart from some time commitment. The money is already in the government apprenticeship pot. It's aspirational and developmental. So we're not focusing on accrediting what you've already done and what you're already capable of. It's about pushing you to the next stage, giving you the skills, tools and methods and means to develop your organisation, develop yourself and progress your career. It involves a 3-way contract between your employer engaged in this. They commit to providing you with a workplace mentor, providing you with some time in your work hours to do the learning. There's a commitment to ourselves to provide the actual academic programme and some practical tools that you'll be able to take into the workplace. And there's a commitment from yourself. And I'll go over those commitments later on in the presentation. So it is a practical and applied programme. So the learning will be directly applicable to your workplace. You'll be able to study the modules, hopefully, the particular learning days, and take things into the workplace, make changes, look at existing problems in new ways. It's delivered over 2 years, and it leads to a level 7 academic qualification, which is categorised as a postgraduate diploma. We also allow you the optional MBA top-up module, which is an additional cost. It leads to a level 7 work-based qualification, and you'll get the opportunity to gain full chartered manager status as you go through the apprenticeship. The academic programme, so the modules that we deliver are on the screen there. So there's 4 modules on the left-hand side, and then endpoint assessment preparation. So it says at the top there, it's underpinned by the Senior Leaders Apprenticeship. So the Senior Leaders Apprenticeship is a government apprenticeship standard. And basically what they do is they go out, they take with a think tank that they call Trailblazers. And it's a group of leading employers. And they ask them the simple question of what is a senior leader? What does a senior leader need to do? And they break that down into areas of knowledge, skills, and behaviours. These are one-line statements. There's 20 knowledge, there's 21 specific skills, and then there's 5 behaviours. We take that programme structure and we divide that between the 4 modules you can see on the screen. So as you complete each module, you'll be working towards the apprenticeship standard, and we'll be providing you with the knowledge and skills so you can then behave as a senior leader according to this standard would in the workplace. When and how you will study it. So the programme induction for the next intake is on the 19th and 20th of October 23, and the first module runs over 3 days initially, the 15th, 16th and 17th of November. Each of the 4 modules is delivered over an average of 5 months. First 3 days are face-to-face teaching at TWI, plus 2 days face-to-face, but online 1 month later. Each module will follow that programme, and that will leave you with around 3 months of independent study. In that independent study, you will have access to self-directed learning and a variety of study resources. You will receive academic support from the module leader for each module. You'll also have a workplace mentor at your organisation who will help give you access or support you in gaining access into the different areas of the business that you may need to enter to complete the programme successfully. There are 2 assignments per module. These are a variety of reports, podcasts and presentations. Please don't worry about that. We also have library support services who will guide you on how to write the academic reports, how to use the podcast software, and how to put together the presentations. It's all part of the induction process. The programme material will be contextualised to the learners in the cohort. So depending on how many learners we have in the cohort, we make a list of the organisations and the roles, and the examples will be, as I said, directly applicable to your workplace and your specific industries. You'll receive input from academics and practitioners and guest speakers in the field, who are experts in the various fields. And as part of our package, you'll gain access to our virtual learning environment, or our VLE as we refer to it. You gain access to library services. You'll also gain access to other universities' libraries. We have an agreement with most of the universities in the country. So if you're not near Montfort University, you'll be able to access different libraries. And we also have a range of study support services. For example, if you've got learning differences such as dyslexia, dyspraxia, we can help support you with those sort of things. If you think that you might need support, but you're not sure what sort of support you'll need with your learning, we also have people who can talk to you about that to try and make this as easy for you to access as possible. Who's it for? This is an interesting one because, you know, it's a senior leaders programme. It is for existing senior leaders, but also aspiring senior leaders. So if you're currently in a management role and you want to make the step up into a senior leader or a more strategic position, it's definitely for you. If you're an existing senior leader and you're looking to progress within your organisation to a different department, a different role, maybe an even more senior role, or you just want to have a better understanding of your day-to-day operations and practice in the workplace, then it's definitely for you. There is entry criteria, although myself and Kate are happy to catch up with any of you at any point through a formal discussion with your employer. If you just want an informal chit chat, I'm your man. I love to have a conversation and talk you through this programme on a more informal basis. The requirements that we loosely ask for, are 2 years management experience and an undergraduate honours degree at a 2-1 or above, or work-based management experience of 3 years, and this can be a record of achievement in business and or relevant professional qualifications. So you don't need all of those things. Why should you consider it? The personal and organisational benefits. One of the main things, let me just try and, I've got everyone's faces over the text here. So let me just move you. There you go. That's better. Why would you consider it? So I put together these bullet points. Just my background. So I spent 25 years in industry before I joined academia, and I went on a course. I didn't go on an apprenticeship, so I have been burdened with the student debt, and I wish I'd known about apprenticeships at the point. So I put together some points, and we'll just talk around these. But I'm happy to catch up with questions at the end. So knowledge exchange. One of the most, when I deliver on these sessions for the senior leaders or our other apprenticeship programs, some of the greatest learning comes from being in this idea of a community of support. So you'll be in a cohort with 15 to 25 learners. The in-class discussions are some of the most beneficial and developmental parts of the program, as well as having an expert in the room to facilitate the discussion. The learning from each other is fascinating, watching you guys work together and talk about problems and how they're the same or differ in different organisations. I like this idea of career freedom, greater choice and improved confidence. I'm not saying you leave your current employer, but it'll give you a greater choice of the things that you might want to apply for. Your focus of your career, it might mean a career change in the organisation, but you might have a focus on a different area of the organisation. And the idea of improved confidence. I've got some quotes from a specific learner, but being able to hold your own in different conversations with different people around the organisation, the programme definitely contributes towards that. An immediate return on investment. So it will deliver benefits to yourself, your team and your organisation. So the academic programme, the theories, the frameworks, and the other things we provide on the study days you'll be able to go into the workplace and apply those definitely, straight away. See other areas of the business and consider alternative perspectives. So part of the apprenticeship is, for example, if you work in strategy for your organisation on a specific area, part of the apprenticeship as it's developmental is to get you to look at other areas of the business. It may mean that you need to go into the finance department and talk to the finance director about various parts of the organisation. You might work with someone on sustainability, but it's to open the organisation up to you so you have a more holistic view of what's going on. And there's obviously the opportunity to work towards the MBA Global. It's not part of the actual apprenticeship standards. That is an additional top-up at a cost to yourself or your organisation, depending on the arrangement you have. We're happy to talk about those after this or in a separate call. So like I said, for me, I worked for 25 years, ended up somehow in some various senior leadership positions and owning a couple of organisations of my own. And I left school with a couple of GCSEs, no real qualifications. I didn't fully understand how I'd got into these positions, but I had. And I started Googling one day and ended up on a course at Montfort University. And the benefits for me, the immediate return on investment was immense. Just going into the organisation after the study days and beginning to look at how we created value, how we gain our competitive advantage, language that I wasn't used to speaking in, but I found I could hold my own. I was putting together project briefs, and we made a number of significant changes in the organisation as a result of, I'd like to think of some of my ideas, which had massive benefits to the organisation. We broke sales records. Just for your information, I'm from a sales background, sales and marketing background. The work on myself and my business, and not just in it, for me it was about this idea of some structured learning, structured time for reflection. So the day-to-day job, the emails were coming in thick and fast. I was dealing with my day-to-day role. there was no time to progress, no time to think about what the organisation does and why they do it. It was just, for me, it was a lot of firefighting on a daily basis. So the programme allowed me to step out of the business and think about myself, my progression, what I needed, and also what the organisation needed to continue to survive. The idea of learning to learn again and opening me up to a variety of different sources. The academic theories and the programme will provide you with theoretical frameworks, and they are just that. You know, there's no, you still need to apply them in the workplace, but they give you different lenses to look at problems. You know, I built up my background on a range of different hunches, rules of thumb, watching other people fail and trying to learn from their mistakes, but I never really knew why I did what I did. So it taught me how to learn again. When I went back into the workplace, I had the ability to use different academic sources to put together project proposals for the organisation, which was great. And career freedom. I'm here now. I'm not. It opened up a lot of doorways for me. I progressed within the organisation at the beginning. When I finished the programme, I then moved over to Montfort University myself, and now work with you guys. I'm quite passionate about re-educating the existing workforces and trying to help adult learners. For me, going to university when I left school was not an option. I didn't have the money, and to be honest, I would have been thrown out within a couple of days. I wasn't ready until I was 35 to rejoin that sort of academic community. You know, and that was my journey, and the benefits for myself. My slides have stopped shit. There you go. Why choose us? We have over 40 years of delivering work-based education. Firsthand, honestly, I can, and it's one of the reasons I'm still at Montfort University, I can vouch for that. Like I say, when I came to Montfort University, I'd never written an academic report. I didn't know what one was. I could write work-based reports, but the support I received was amazing, and the opportunities that came from studying whilst working were amazing, as I said. Experienced staff. So we have both practitioners and academics at the university, and a broad variety of both of what we refer to as pracademics. They are practitioners with industry background, but also have a good understanding of the academic side. And they're the sort of people who'll be delivering on the programmes. We've been delivering apprenticeships since 2016, and we built up relationships with a number of large organisations. So we're used to it. This is the 7th cohort of this apprenticeship and our second intake with TWI. I think we're going to hear from Matt when I finished waffling on to you guys. And positive feedback. The blended learning experience that we use, you know, such as your study days supported by structured self-directed learning, always receives good reviews, and hopefully Matt will be able to attest to that. Here's some quotes from a recent student who finished our SLA programme. Just to provide some context, this particular learner was in a management role in a large council. Completing the programme, as you'll be able to read for yourself through them various quotes, allowed them to deputise for director positions. Their career goal was to move into director position, which they're now in the process of doing. It gave them confidence to influence and engage with people at director level. But my favourite one is that reignited my passion for my job. It definitely was for me. My job had become very mundane. It was turn up, do your job, go home. Coming back in with fresh eyes, with some of these academic lenses, models, was kind of exciting, if I'm honest. It gave me the ability to influence and make changes, see these changes in action. So it really did reignite my passion for my job. Where have we gone back? The slides are gone. That's it from me. we'll take some questions at the end, but I think we're going to move on to Matt, I believe.
We are indeed. Thank you very much, Danny. That was really interesting and yeah, really helpful and answered loads of questions. So again, if anyone does have any particular questions for Danny, please send them in the Q&A box, and we'll after them after Matt has just spoken up next. But for now, I will hand over to Matt. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chloe. Thanks, Danny. Yeah, so the guys just asked me to come along just to talk a little bit about actually doing this from a student who's basically almost finished on the journey with this. So I started in around it was December 2020 was the first module. There's a few bits and bobs before then, sort of prepping, etc. So it's been sort of just over a couple of years when we finished the final module. Did 6 modules, finished earlier this year. That was the formal academic bit. At the moment, I'm still working on it. I'm working through the apprenticeship side of things, so gathering evidence and putting bundles together and getting all that information together, basically. So I'm nearly finished with my journey. So just getting finished. Why did I do it in the first place? Well, I wanted a challenge, really. I like to do lots of different things. I thought, well, I want to do something a bit different from predominantly technical roles and technical work that I've been doing, and I thought it would be relevant to the possibility sort of future jobs that I might move into, which has been useful in the one I'm in now, which is a team leader, so sort of initial junior type management role at TWI, where I am. Obviously, I know a few people here are from TWI as well. So it was really for that, to have that challenge, and sort of continuing professional development is my initial thought really for that one. Has it been beneficial? Well, yeah, I found that the strong grounding, sort of the business fundamentals, has been very useful, having that as a basis. Not something I've really thought of before during my sort of technical journey and technical career so far, how it all links into sort of business and those fundamentals, things like the strategy and the financials, etc. So it's been really helpful with that to help me progress, and it did help me move into the job role I've got at the moment. And to be honest, I would think at the stage I'd already started on the MBA and this apprenticeship, so I think that helped me in the first place actually get the job, that I was working towards these qualifications. Experience of the course itself, it's been challenging. Getting that balance, it takes a bit of time. Certainly the first couple of modules, getting back into sort of academic learning, etc., after a good few years away from it since my undergrad days. But it was enjoyable. But yeah, getting that balance of sort of work, life and study was hard at first, but worthwhile. And when I got into the swing of things, then it was definitely worthwhile. And it was good to have that variety in the week of, doing some study, try and do a bit of study every week, and then doing the modules as they came along. I like the variety. I think overall that learning, better understanding of the business process has really helped me understand company decisions and the vision of a company. So how that feeds in, things coming from like your executive teams and stuff like that, how my job then relates to what the overall picture is, which those fundamentals help me understand a bit more about how I fit into that. So it gives you a bit more job clarity and also a bit more, I think, job satisfaction as well, as to, that you're feeding into that bigger picture. And my plan for progression is kind of use those fundamentals to underpin my own decision making as management, and as I progress myself, and use it that way. So that's kind of my plan. A few questions on here just to cover them. I've talked a little bit about them, but did it boost my career? Well, yeah, I think it did help me get that current position, and because it demonstrated my commitment to learning about the areas and using them, and being able to move from a predominantly or purely technical role into that sort of management position as well. So it demonstrates the commitment. Managing the workload and the coursework, as I say, it started off it was quite difficult at first, just getting back in the swing of academia, but also balancing it with work. You get, as an apprenticeship, you have work time to be able to do this, and it's important to get into the habit and stick to that. I started off being a bit more sort of, right, what does a week look like? Or fit it in a gap there, or fit in a gap here. And soon, you know, a little bit through the first module, I realized that didn't work. So what I did is I put in a study day. I used Wednesdays, for instance, as my study day, put them blocked in, so I didn't take meetings on those days, and use that for my study and try to stick to it as much as possible. Obviously with work, you know, there might be an important client meeting that day, and then if I had a good heads up, then I would do the Thursday or the Tuesday or something like that. So just getting that balance really, and trying to stick to that defined day as best you can, and discussing with your manager as well how best that can work. You know, it might be that a full day works better, as it worked for me, but maybe 2 half days spread out, a Tuesday morning and a Thursday afternoon or something could be better. But just have a think about it, and you know, try the different things and get that balance is all I would say. How long does it take to complete the course? So for mine, it's a little tiny bit different to what's running now, but it was around a couple of years for the formal study. And then you've got a bit more flexibility completing a portfolio of evidence, which I'm doing now. And you know, you can set a date in discussions with the university and your mentor, etc., to get that side of things done. And part of that evidence and portfolio gathering you're doing as you go along as well. So it's just sort of rounding it off at the end. That's what I'm doing at the moment. And support from a tutor. So yeah, it was good support all around really from all angles. So obviously I had buy-in from my manager to actually do this in the first place, and support and you know as needed there. Also in the workplace, you have a workplace mentor. So I could talk to them and use their knowledge and experience. They were in a sort of a higher management position, use their experience to help with some of the things I was doing and how they link to the company and link the theory to the company. So make it very worthwhile in that way. And then on the other side, we've also got the program and module leads at the university, and an academic tutor, academic person on that side as well. Have regular check-ins with them, sort of quarterly meetings, to discuss progress, how things are going, where more support might be needed, or any difficulties, you know, whether there's getting that balance of that, or whether there was any, you know, someone's always available if there was any sort of problems at home or whatever it was. There's always somebody to talk to, and there's a bit of flexibility there in relation to, you know, helping you actually fit this in around everything else. You know, appreciate it's not like going to university and undergrad and studying. There's a lot of other stuff going on, but they were really good at supporting that flexibility, you know, across the board really. That's all from me. Just give a few ideas and a bit of information about what I did and my perspective. So I'll be around for hang around for the Q&A as well. But thank you for listening. I'll hand back to Chloe.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Matt. Really appreciate that. So yeah, hopefully everyone else found that useful to hear from someone who has taken part in the course, and just kind of understanding a little bit more about balancing that work life, coursework life, and putting it all together. So yes, thank you very much, Matt. And then just finally, we'll open the floor to any questions. So please do send any questions in the Q&A box to us. And for those who want to find out more information about the course, you can scan the QR code, which is on the screen at the moment. So that will take you to our NSIRC webpage, which has literally everything you need to know about the course on here. Or if you'd like to ask any more direct questions to a member of the team, either any of us here today or Hannah, who will be leading the course as well, just send us an email to inquiries@nsirc.co.uk. And we'll get back to you. Can set up chats, whether you want to talk to maybe Danny directly, or maybe you want to ask Matt a question about managing it and things like that. Please do let us know. We're happy to answer literally any question, as big or as small as it may be. So one of the first questions we have, I think probably Danny will send this one to you, please. What do we do after today if we want to progress to apply to the course? You just unmute.
Yeah, cool. First of all, it's register interest with Hannah Stedman is the first part of your application process. Please feel free to contact myself or our business development manager, who's also on the call, Kate Watson, and we can support you with that if you've got any other inquiries. I'm sure Chloe will forward our details on to you guys. I hope that's helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you, Danny. And the next question we have someone who lives in Pakistan and they're wanting to attend the course. Is there any information available for them? Are they able to join? Does the apprenticeship levy work for people in other countries, or is it just for UK based?
From the academic perspective, there's a commitment to attending the study days. So there's 3 study days in person. So they'll need to attend those 3 in person parts of the course. The prerequisites are the management experience, as I had on that slide. So there's one with 2 years management experience and an undergraduate degree of 2-1 and above, or 3 years kind of senior management experience and business achievements, or personal development course. We'll consider those. We need to ensure when you're looking at the program that the program is going to be beneficial for you. And we also need to check that you have exposure to the right areas of your organisation for you to be able to write the reports and think about the certain topics. But we can happily have a one-on-one conversation with that. Kate, I'm not sure about the funding for.
Yeah, can I just add in there? Unfortunately, this programme is funded through the apprenticeship levy, and that is for residents in England only. And you need to be working in England as well. I mean, potentially you could tap into the academic qualification, but as Danny said, you would need to attend, which I would imagine would be quite difficult on such a frequent basis. But then you would have to pay for that programme directly rather than being able to tap into the apprenticeship levy.
Great, thank you very much both. And then this next question, I think, kind of has been half answered already. So is the programme open to all applicants from all nationalities, and does the applicant have to be based in the UK? So yes, we have established, yes, need to be based in the UK. And I assume
the apprenticeship regulations require somebody to reside and work for 90% of their time in England.
Perfect, thank you, Kate. And of course, if that person or anyone who's asking questions would like to follow up on any of those, please do send us an email and we can have a chat offline about it as well. So thank you. And then just another question. I think a lot of people, obviously, when they hear the word apprenticeship, they automatically assume lower level or salary decrease or things along those lines. Can you just confirm that there is no salary decrease if they were to take part in the apprenticeship?
It is an intro. You think of apprenticeship, you think of people training for manual trades generally, don't you? You think of plumbers, bricklayers, etc. But no, these are management training. You become an apprentice, so you're not a part-time student. You become a full-time apprentice. There's no cut in your salary. It's an agreement with your employer that you will. They will give you some dedicated study time in your workload, and that can be developmental. So it's not just you're going to have to do extra work within your workload. It could be things that you're already working on. It could be projects you're already accessing, which are not specifically in your job, but they're developmental. For example, you might be leading a strategy on sustainability, even though you work in a finance directorate or something like that. So it's any sort of developmental.
Yeah, there's just to add to that. Yeah, there's been a lot of links to, with the modules and the assignments as well. Most of them are linked directly back to stuff you're doing at work, or at least based on your company. So even the ones which wasn't necessarily my day-to-day stuff, like finance, they're linked back to the company, and it's I find it very useful to have that overview of, the company I work for, a bit more of an idea about what's going on across all levels and all the different functions. So yeah, it's good to have that link. I think, yeah, it's just getting that balance. It's that discussion with your own managers indirectly to make sure you have that time aside to be able to do it, but also use them to find where the links are. So it's a benefit to you for the academic study, but also to the company. My final report on one of the modules has been useful and been passed around various people in the company because it's it was a sort of a mini research project about a certain area, and is actually beneficial to the company rather than just being a sort of a tick box for an academic assignment. So.
Cool, brilliant. Thank you very much. That was really helpful. Thank you, Matt. Okay, one of our next questions, I think we did just touch on it, but just to confirm, as long as you live in the UK, the course is open to all nationalities. Is that correct?
The funding here is specifically for those in England.
Yeah.
Rather than, yeah, so it doesn't apply for Scotland and Wales, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this one goes in a little bit more depth about the employer for the programme. So there is a requirement for applicants to be working in England. What is the employer required to do? How is the employer involved in the programme?
The employer commits to allowing you that time within your workload. They commit to providing you with a workplace mentor, someone you can help you during your time on the academic programme. So they make those two commitments. Kate, can you elaborate further on?
Yeah, and so I guess for the apprenticeship, it's a tripartite agreement. So obviously there's you as the student, as the provider for the academic programme, and then the employer is there to provide you with the opportunity to transfer that learning back into the workplace. So they should be able to support you with sort of access and exposure to the key areas of the programme. I mean, they don't sort of actively need to do anything as such, but it's just kind of giving you the time and space and support to be able to succeed on the programme. There is a requirement that we have quarterly reviews where all three parties come together to talk about how you're progressing on the programme, to ensure that you're achieving on the academic side and also with your apprenticeship portfolio. And that's sort of there and your opportunity to sort of voice how things are going on the programme and look at areas for improvement, things like that. So there's that sort of time commitment from their perspective, and then just generally supporting you throughout the lifetime of the programme. Hopefully that answers your question, but if you want to talk about that further, I'm more than happy to do so.
Perfect. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Danny. Okay, I think unless anyone is about to drop any more questions in, I think that's the end of the questions that we have lined up. So in which case I will wrap up, and if anyone does have any further questions that we haven't answered, or you want to talk one-on-one with a member of the team, Danny, please go ahead.
Sorry, I did just want to encourage people for those informal conversations. I guess for a lot of us, or for myself particularly, you know, accessing university straight after school was not an option for myself, and accessing it as an adult learner was so much more beneficial. And I'll happily talk through that and talk through if you have any inkling that this course would be helpful to you and beneficial to you, then I encourage you to reach out to us. If you're just thinking that, man, I can't do it, I wouldn't be able to do it, if you've got any of those can'ts in your mind, please reach out to us and have a call. We can have an online coffee if you're local, or you can get to the university. I'll happily catch up with you there and try and dismiss any of those negative thoughts, because this really is an accessible way back into education for yourself to help you with your career. And like I said, I encourage you to reach out to us for a conversation. It was so beneficial to me personally, and I was that person. I can't do this, I can't do that, but luckily for me, I bumped into someone who showed me that I can, and helped me, and hopefully I can be that person for you guys. Anyway, sorry.
That's okay. Just also to add, yeah, I mean, obviously the TUI staff can obviously get hold of me when I'm on site, or contact me anyway. So again, happy to have any informal discussions about sort of a student perspective. Just let me know.
Just to add to that, I think it is really useful to have that one-to-one conversation to talk about your own personal working context, and also ensure that you've got that extended support in your personal lives, and just ensure that the programme's right for you. And we can talk about the time commitments and the application process. So would, like Danny says, pick up the phone and have a chat with one of us, and we can talk to you on a one-to-one basis. It's much easier.
Absolutely. No, thank you all for offering your support, as well as being in today's webinar. So thank you very much. Hopefully everyone with us has obviously got a lot more understanding of the course now. Take a look at our website, have a look at it in a little bit more detail, and obviously email us. And if you want to email Danny and Kate separately, of course, just get in contact with us and we'll send you their details across as well. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here. Hope you've learned a lot more and will hopefully be able to progress your careers further. Thank you, Danny, Kate and Matt, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time being here and we hope to see you all again soon. Yeah, like I said, any questions about the course, please do let us know. We're happy to help. So thank you all and have a great day.